Okay. Sorry about that. We had technical difficulties. Um, Welcome back to another Big 12 with Todd gaming podcast. Today we're going to talk about the Big 12 and how we feel about the Big 12. Sorry, you don't even see my grades. Um, yeah. So first, let's start with BYU. Big game. This was probably third biggest game in my book. I am a BYU fan, so I would say for me it was a must-watch game for me. Um, but no, let's talk about it. So BYU went into Iowa State, and at the end of two, they were down 24-17. But I really want to focus on what they were able to do in the second half. 31 to 7. No, it was 31 to 3 in the second half. There are a couple of stats I want to really look at. Um One stat in particular that everybody knows that if you're probably winning that stat, you're probably winning the game. It's right here. Right here. You can't have 5 turnovers to 0 if you want to win games. Iowa State is really good when they don't turn over the ball. When they turn over the ball, let's look at their last 3 games. Um, so yeah, same thing. Turned over the ball and lost the game. And then Cincinnati they did turn over the ball. They had one turnover. But still, they're 1-2 in games where they are 0-3 in the last 3 games. They're kind of reeling right now. Uh, they have Arizona State. I'm going to preview that game, and if I'm going to be honest, I think I'm going to win that game. Um, but overall this week, I went. Hold up. I gotta check one game real quick. TCU. To the Big 12. See more. Big 12. TCU. TCU beat West Virginia closer than I expected. So, all right. So I went 4 for 3 last week. 4-3 last week. That's my first positive week, guys. Um, what's the line on this one? We won't look at it, but yeah, 4-3, not bad. Not as good as I planned on. Um, but yeah, the BYU game. Let's talk about Houston. This was one that I had a lot of faith in. Sorry, hold up. Yeah, this game was one I had a lot of faith in. Real quick, I'll pull up some stats about this game. Right here. Alright, so Connor Wigman, probably my Big 12 player of the week. He went 17 for 22 for 201 and a touchdown with 111 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Where Houston won this game was right here. before Arizona State had scored, Houston was up 24 to nothing in the first three quarters. All of Houston's points, all of Arizona's points came in the final two, in the final quarter. And you had Sam Levitt go out with an injury. You could not run the ball. That's the second time this season. Um, and I'm sorry, I like Sam Levitt, but when he's injured and without uh, Tyson, his wideout, who did not play in this game, by the way, uh, you they are 2-0-2 in the last two games with Sam Levitt playing injured. They beat Texas Tech on the road. I think they beat Texas Tech in Tempe. So they were at home against Texas Tech, and they got throttled by Utah. So I really don't know what to think about Arizona State, but as to playoff contention, they are out. They can still make the college championship. They have to have Utah really fall off. Utah already has two losses. They have two losses. Um, and then they would have to have Houston lose two games. Um, and we're going to talk a bit about Houston because I have a lot to say about them. I am high on Houston this year. I do think they could make a case for a Big 12 championship. Do I think they will win that game? No, I do not. I do not think that if they made it, they will make a playoff game. I do, however, want to go show you their toughest game is probably at home against TCU. This game just doesn't sound right for me. TCU, their schedule kind of is almost unhealthy bad for them. They have a bye this week. Then Iowa State comes in. They go to BYU. They go to Houston. And then they play Cincinnati at home. I do believe they're getting one of these. As a BYU fan, I hope it's not at home against us at home. But I do know that this game right here feels a lot like BYU Kansas's game last year. If I am right, BYU will be coming off a win against Texas Tech. A very, very emotional win. And obviously, that's if they beat Texas Tech. If they lose to Texas Tech, then they could lose to TCU. This game just feels a lot like that Kansas game last year. Then they go to Houston, which, by the way, was at home. It was at night. I assume this game's going to be played at night. We'll find out next week if that game is a night game. I assume it's after 6 o'clock, but yeah. Then Houston, I just think they're going to get Houston. I really do think TCU is going to steal one of these games. Iowa State, I'm already chalking that up as a win for TCU. I haven't really liked what I've seen from Iowa State. Um, as a BYU fan, they kind of crumbled. Not only did BYU play the best, uh, but yeah, Cincinnati could be real, guys. Let's look at their schedule. Because they, outside of everyone but BYU, I think they have the second hardest schedule. They have Utah. We're going to go and talk more about this on Friday. And then they have BYU. They could drop both of these. They could win both of these. They could drop both one of these. They could win both of these. So they could win all four. I really do believe they're good enough to win all four. But I just think they're going to split one of these. I hope they win at Utah. Because I do believe they'll split the Utah schools. Next, let's look at another team that Houston plays. I kind of want to see who has the hardest schedule. Like, who has Houston, Texas Tech, BYU, and Cincinnati all on their schedule? There has to be one team that does. Not TCU. Not West Virginia. Arizona? Hold up. Could it be Arizona? Nah. But they do have three of the top four. But they also don't have Utah. And I really do think Utah should be considered on that. Yeah, don't know. We'll look into it. UCF. It could be Colorado. I know Colorado doesn't play Cincinnati. It's Iowa State, guys. Iowa State might have gotten the hard. Yeah, they got a pretty good hand. They don't play Houston. They don't play Texas Tech. They don't play Utah. Man, who is not Kansas State, not Kansas, not Oklahoma State. Although I really think Oklahoma State could end up not winning a game. Like, okay, Baylor. Who did Baylor play? Who does Baylor play? Baylor played. One. Wow. Baylor. Baylor got pretty good. Okay. So I guess there's no one that played those four. Not even BYU played three of them. So I don't know. Kind of weird. It's like technically there are ways. Okay. Think about it this way. BYU plays both Texas Tech and Cincinnati. Say BYU went on to lose at Texas Tech, but win at Cincinnati. Texas Tech wins out. Cincinnati wins out, other than BYU. Cincinnati's 10-2, with only losses to Nebraska and BYU. BYU is 11-1 with only losses to Texas Tech. Texas Tech, it's 11-1 with their only loss coming at Arizona State. That's a worse loss, but Utah, they would have the tiebreaker over BYU. Houston could theoretically go undefeated without losing one of those two games. Like, let's look at Houston's schedule. Houston doesn't play Cincinnati, doesn't play Texas Tech, doesn't play BYU. They could go unbeaten. Then you theoretically have 4 teams that are 8-1 in conference who go to the who go to the conference championship. That would come down to tiebreakers. Automatically, you probably pull out BYU and Cincinnati. Because, one, Cincinnati has a tiebreaker to beat. BYU has a tiebreaker to Cincinnati. Cincinnati technically has the worst record of them all. But BYU also has a tie. Texas Tech has a tiebreaker over BYU. This being the case, Texas Tech and Houston go to the championship. Does BYU get into the college football playoff that way? Does a 11-1 BYU get into the college football playoff? I believe they should. I believe an at-large bid at 11-1, even though they didn't make the conference championship, if they went 8-1 in their conference, they only had one loss to a conference title champion. Like, I kind of want to play that out in NCAA. Just obviously, I have the late. I have 25, so it won't work the same way. But it's kind of crazy how that is not just theoretically possible. That is very possible. Houston's very easily could go chalk. BYU also very easily could go chalk. Like, you chalk up a win at Texas Tech or Cincinnati, and then these two. Like, I'm not there yet. I'm not thinking BYU's a championship contender yet. I think they deserve to be in the conversation. And I think if they made the college football playoff, they could take out a lot of teams. And a lot of teams would be worried about playing them because they are so um, so constant, I guess. But that is my rant about that. Um, let's look at conference Big 12. So right now, BYU is second in the conference championship odds. technically UCF still has a chance. So who are the I guess there are three teams that are out. Arizona can still win it? What? Hold up. Wow. Go put some money on. How does Arizona State have the same odds as BYU? Okay. Can I take? You couldn't even take. Um, um,
Okay.
all right, guys. Well, I think we are getting close to being done. I do want you guys to think about that because very possibly that's very possible. A four-way tie at 8-1. It's very possible. Thank you all for watching. Hope you liked my video. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Again, the Big 12 is fun. It's a fun league. And I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you. Good night. Have a good